All right, welcome those of you who have joined me here today. I'm just trying to set up one more live space, so bear with me while I try to get that done, and then we will get started. Okay, I think we actually are live in all the right places, so that is excellent news. All right. So thanks for joining me today on our 2 o'clock Tuesday. Today, we are going to be looking at the Marter app and how to use the Marter app for in-store sourcing and analyzing and all of the extra bells and whistles and features that the Marter app has. So to do that, I am going to share my screen. I had to do kind of a little like workaround here um, to be able to get my phone on the screen. So we are going to find the right page here. Oh, here it is. Here it is. And let me share it. So open up chat, make sure I have the chat here, and then we're going to share this window. And it looks like we are cooking with gas today, so that's great. Okay, so this is my phone. This is my personal phone that I use when I go out and source. And so you can see that I have the Walmart seller app here. Let me see if I can get a little like I thought I could do like a mark up, but hang on a second. My screen is just a little too big. Here we go. Nope. Okay, guess not. Anyway, you can see Amazon seller app, Spotify, Keepa, Slack. That's not really relevant. eBay, Nepedo, Walmart seller, and Marter. Those are kind of my e-commerce apps that I use. So we're going to open up Marter. It asked me to allow my camera usage, and I say yes. Oh, and you see my very dusty, like this is my screen. Do you see that? So we are going to scan a barcode. Like we're going to pretend we're at a store, and we're going to scan this barcode. And so Marter is going to go look for that barcode. If there are multiple options, it will provide those multiple options to us. But if there's only a single option, it will just bring that up into the screen. So this should look very familiar to you. There's a little bit of movement of some items on the screen just for real estate. So you'll notice at the bottom, I have these 5 circles that go across the bottom. The one on the far left is setting an alert. You can also do that below the photograph. There is a set an alert button there. And so you can set an alert for this item directly from your phone. The second button that's blue on the left, the circle, is Inventory Falcon, where I could list this item. We'll do that. The third button takes me to Nepedo, so we can look at data in Nepedo. The fourth button, which is green, is Histamart, so we can look at more detailed information about this product. And then the last button is basically your scanner button. So when you're done looking at this data, you can just hit that button and scan your next item. So here on the phone app, again, we have the same information that we have on our Chrome extension that we went over a few weeks ago. So you're going to see at the top the UPC and the G10. Dimensions if they're available. So notice that these don't have dimensions or weight. Because it doesn't have dimensions or weight, there's no WFS cost. So I'm going to have to estimate my WFS cost. We see badges. This one actually has a bestseller badge and a reduced price. So currently Walmart is running a sale or clearancing these items out. We have a decent amount of reviews on this item, 176, and a good rating. You also see my buttons here that I could go search it on Google, see if it's sold elsewhere, those types of things. Also notice on the next to the Marter button, there is that little box with the arrow coming up out of it. That is a forward button. So if you're out scanning and you want to like forward this listing to someone else, if you hit that forward button, it brings up and you can like say like, hey, you know, who do you want to send this to? Do you want to send it as a message? Do you want to send it in an email? You know, if I send it to my son, I could do that, or I could just copy that and then paste it somewhere else. So that's just kind of a nice little trick here. Oops, sorry, as I hit something that I shouldn't have hit. So pardon me as I get the right thing back on the screen. I don't know what I did to get out of that, but we'll get right back where we were. But that forward button does come in handy sometimes when I'm trying to like, hey, look at this listing to somebody else, that kind of thing. All right, our next little section is kind of the meat and potatoes of, is this profitable? Is it not? We can see the current seller is walmart.com. There's only 2 sellers on this listing. The referral fees are based upon the current sale price of $10.49. WFS cost on these is $3.45. They do not weigh very much. They're foam, and they're not very large either. So you're going to stay under the pound at that $3.45 buy cost. And I know that because I've sold this particular item before. You would type in your cost. I actually was able to purchase these on clearance for $3 in store. So at $3 and a $10.49 sales price, which would be matching Walmart, I've got a profit of $3.28 and an ROI of 109%, which I feel pretty good about. We do have 103 estimated sales a month with a pretty decent revenue if I were to sell 103 of these in a month. This $10.49 price, remember, is a reduced price. These typically sold for $14.99. So if we sold them at the $14.99 price, our profit is more than doubled. So it would just be like, can we sell it for that much? So in the next section, we see the button to go to more historical data that does the same thing as the green button on the bottom. We can expand the profit calculator to actually see what is our profit per item and all of the extra fees that we might want to include here. I'm going to minimize that. We then see the all sellers button. So we can see Walmart is in stock. They have 57 of them in stock. And remember, our estimated sales is 103. So it's likely that they're going to run out of stock before the end of the month. And if they do, our next closest price is $15.50 plus $9 in shipping, so $24. So a $14.99 price should sell pretty well. We might even be able to bump that up a little bit. A little bit further, we get to see review information. There's been 7 reviews in the last 30 days, which that's pretty solid. To see like there's consistency in reviews over the last several months as these shoes have been out available for purchase. And down here, like if we want to add notes, we can do that. So let's say that this is an item that we actually do want to sell. We could click this inventory Falcon button and list it. Now, because I've sold this before, like that's going to kind of throw it off. So I'm going to do that on our next item. But yeah, so that's just looking at the data to see. I like to look at my profit. I like to look at my competition. And I like to look at buy box history. And I'm not seeing, there's no buy box winner history, which is interesting because this item has been out for a while. So that just might be a glitch happening. So let's scan another item. Let me bring another barcode up. We're going to hit the scan button. Look at my dirty desk again. We'll scan that barcode and see what we have available. And be sure if you have any questions, you can type them in the chat and we will address those kind of as we have breaks and ability to do that. Okay, so this item is a Beyblade collaboration with Spider-Man. It is the first item here in our list. So notice that there was multiple items that kind of were similar enough that Marter is giving them as options. So we have this first item that has 59 reviews, and the second item has 0 reviews. So even though that's a higher price, which would be nice, it probably is not getting the traffic to that site like the one that has the reviews. So I'm going to select the one that has reviews. And we'll just kind of take a look at this one. Again, we have all of our general information at the top. While you're outsourcing, be sure to pay attention to the brand over on the left under the picture. This brand is correct. It says Beyblade. We want to make sure the brand is correct. But then also that report gated, remember if it's yellow, that means you're going to have to ungate it. And if it's red, it means restricted and you can't sell it at all. So just keep those things in mind. So we're going to scroll down here. We see that there are 7 sellers on this. It's selling for $24.97. It sells 8 a month, estimated sales. I'm going to pretend that I got this item, let's say $10.49 on a sale. Because Target just had a sale where I got about 25% off. So at that, we have a really strong profit and ROI. So that all looks good. I'm going to look at the price history graph. So I'm going to look and see like historically, where has this been selling? So I can see if, maybe right now the price is really high, or maybe right now the price is really low. Might impact my buying decisions if I see like big fluctuations in the price. This has had a pretty steady price history between, I would say like 33 and like maybe 25. So like 25 to 33. So with that in mind, if I buy it for $10.49, I'm going to be able to make money on it. I also can look at the offer count, and I can see offer count is dropping. So we're getting fewer sellers on this as time goes by. That's always a good sign as well. That means you're losing your competition. One thing that would be concerning on this listing for me is the number of items that Walmart has in stock. So it's showing they have 179 in stock, and it only was showing 8 sold a month. So depending if the solds are correct, it might be kind of tricky to sell it at the same price as Walmart. I might have to bring my price down a little bit, or just be very patient and hope that sales pick up on this item. We do see that the buy box has been shared, which is good news. Remember with Walmart, they're shipping most of the time from stores. And so there may be pockets of places that don't have this in stock where you could get one of these higher price points. Excuse me. So looking at the buy box history, Walmart has maintained the buy box about 84% of the time. So that's a pretty deep possession of the buy box. But the times that other people have got it, they have been able to sell it for quite a bit more. So if you don't have a lot of stock to sell, if you have 2, 3, 5, 10, you could send in and place it at that higher price point and just know it's going to be a little slower moving for this item. Definitely not an item I'd buy like 50 of, at least not right now while Walmart has that many in stock. We do have some verified reviews in the last 90 days, so that's good news as well. And on this, I might want to set an alert. Maybe I want to set an alert when the Walmart stock gets a little less. So we're going to hit this little orange button on the left-hand side, yellow button with the little bell that has the plus. And that brings up our alert. So you can do this directly from your phone. So I want an email alert when Walmart stock is less than, let's say, 50. Okay, and then I can put a note in here if I want. Maybe I say like buy at 12 or lower. And that way I don't have to go analyze the data heavily again, and then I can hit that plus sign. It's going to add that alert, and then I will get those alerts as that happens. They'll send me an email. All right, so that's setting an alert. But let's say that I feel good about buying 5 of these right now, and I want to list them. So I'm going to go to the blue button, which is Inventory Falcon. And as long as you have Inventory Falcon, these two things are integrated so that you can see them both on here. Move that to the side. So we're going to add this single item to my inventory. We are going to buy it from Target. My cost was $10.49. Ooh, my fingers to type. Any additional costs I have in here, like I've had prep costs, you can add that in here. If you have expiration dates on your products, you need to add that in as well. We have our purchase date. We're going to hit our SKU. I'm just going to go Target, Beyblade, Marvel. Okay, and then my selling price. Maybe I bought 5 of those. All the other information is in here for me. And then I click the Add Item button. And then when I do that, it's going to start this process of adding this item to my Walmart inventory. Now, what's great about using this in store? I don't list every item in store. Honestly, it's just not quite quick enough for me yet for me to take the time to do that. I mean, I don't even do that with Amazon. So for most cases, unless I'm seller fulfilling it. I would definitely do this if I want to seller fulfill it, like talk about Q4, list it in store, add your quantity, and maybe you're selling them before you're out the door. But another great reason to do this is to confirm whether or not you're gated in the item. So we were outsourcing this weekend. We did about 10 to 12 hours a day, 4 straight days of sourcing out of town. And so there were some items that I picked up and I'm like, I think this might be gated. I'm not sure. And so we would list them this way with our phone connected to Inventory Falcon. And then we can open up our Walmart app and see whether or not it is actually processed and in our inventory as able to sell it or not. So it's really kind of just a nice little handy way. It does take some time. It's just the Walmart way, unfortunately. Although sometimes it gets in my inventory faster than all of the screens here on Inventory Falcon. So for example, if I go open up my Walmart seller account, I'll go to my catalog, I'll refresh it. Doesn't look like it's popped in yet. We'll come back to it and see it here in a minute. So it's finishing the process here. And as soon as you see it in your Walmart catalog, then you can hit the done in the upper left-hand corner. Just pop back over. Refresh. You can see all the errors there on my catalog. We've had a lot of additional gatings happen in the last week on Walmart. So that's been no fun. No fun at all. Seems like the new norm is going to be ungating with 50 units. So just keep that in mind. If you are gated in something, that you're going to need a larger amount of units to actually ungate the brand and or category than we have in the past. And that's just Walmart kind of catching up to a lot of the procedures to keep the catalog as clean as possible and make sure that the sellers that are selling are legit. It feels painful as a seller sometimes when those things happen. It's no fun. We don't like those kinds of things happening. Oh, I'm on the errors page. Duh. Let me go back to my all on my calendar. There it is. I knew it should have been there. So there it is right there, that Beyblade out of stock, but it is published. So we can go ahead and hit done on that and be done. All right. We're looking to scan one more item. And then I'm going to show you some other ways to use the Marter app if you don't have a UPC. So we'll talk about those here in just a second. All right, so this is actually a bolo for you guys. So if you can find these, they do sell. I personally sold this before, but they are harder and harder to find. And that is this 7-Up 12-pack Shirley Temple. Um, look at me, I'm trying to click here on this screen, and I need to click on my phone. So just to kind of show you, like, this sells on Amazon for $50, so even more over there. It's out of stock. You probably could sell it for 50 on here as well. It does say that there's one seller, but I looked at this and there are no sellers. You can look down here, no sellers on this at all. The last person to have this in stock was Walmart. That was back at the end of April. I did actually see these in a store. Unfortunately, I just wasn't in a place to pick them up, so I may go back and get them. But yeah, this is another just great example. Now, let's say that I was like, oh, it says there's one seller, but here it says there's no sellers, and I want to confirm it. You can click on the underlined item ID under the picture, and it will open up the actual Walmart listing. So you can see the Walmart listing. You can see that it's not available. Nobody has it in stock. It's saying, check for pickup. Yeah, it's not available for pickup. But sometimes I do that if I just want to look and see, what does it really look like on the Walmart app, or confirm some data that I'm looking at here. So that was just another one I wanted to share with you on how to go directly to the Walmart account. So now I want to show you a couple of other ways to scan when you're using your app. One is a photo. It's like an AI photo search. And if you can't get to a UPC, let's say that you're at like a Marshall's or a Burlington, and they've smacked their really large sticker over the UPC, so you can't scan the UPC, then you can actually do an image search. So you will click the search button, the little UPC button down here in the bottom right. And then underneath, now this is what we're going to scan, you'll see this take a photo -AI search. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get it in our little camera here, click it, and it's going to scan that and see if this item is on Walmart. And I don't know if it is or not. Okay. Did not bring up anything related to that. So it's probably not. So we're going to do a different one. So let me hit this again. We'll do this Downy. Let me move that off to the side. You get to see my messy desk. And we'll see if this comes up. All right, so we have Downy Infusions Calm. Now I want to look at, this happens to be 24 ounce. So we'd have to kind of see if there is a 24 ounce option here, because these come in many options. Okay, there it is. I'm going to bring it to the top so you can see it. Lavender vanilla 24 ounce. So I could select that and I could analyze it just like I analyze anything. If I'm like, oh, whoops, that was the wrong size. This at the very top gold bar, there is a back button next to the watch data that takes me back to the results that I was just at. Okay, so that's a way that you can do an image search. You can also type in this where it says search for anything. You can type a barcode. You can type the name of some things. Like I could type, let's see, Nintendo Switch. Okay, and I hit the search button off to the right-hand side, and it's going to search for anything that has Nintendo Switch. So we have Switch Lights, all these switches. It's probably going to end up having some games if I keep going too far. But all these video games, Switch consoles are going to come up because I typed that in. If I can't scan for some reason a barcode and I just need to type the barcode in, I could do that. Let me type this barcode of the thing we tried to scan. And I don't know if it's on Walmart or not. I bought this for my own garage. So didn't buy it to resell it. And so it's going to search for that UPC, and then it'll tell you whether or not there's something on Walmart with that UPC. It's not looking promising. So, oh, it did actually bring it up here at the top. So there it is. So it found it by the UPC, even though it didn't find it by the image search. So that's great. Okay, I'm going to hit that in the top left corner, that little UPC again, and show you one final way to scan. And this one is really neat. So let's say I've got, my favorite example is if I go to like TJ Maxx to the perfumes, they're usually all behind glass. So I can't really scan them, and I could scan them one by one with the image scanner, but we actually have this thing at the bottom gold bar that says use the aisle scan. And so when you click that, you're going to start by pressing the button, and it's going to give you a countdown, and it takes a picture. And then you move to the next item and counts down, and you take a picture, and you go to the next, and then you go to the next. And then when you're done, you press the stop button, and it's going to, at the top, take those images, and it's still doing the AI search on these. I wish you guys didn't have to see my grungy cords there that are dusty. And it's going to be looking for all of those images. I try to do like 5, 6, 7, because it does take a little more time because it's searching so many different ones. But it's going to load in and show you the options that you have for each of those images. And so that's really handy. I know now a lot of times Legos are being kept behind glass. And so it would be a way to be able to search those Legos without having to, type them all in. Just some of those things sometimes takes more time than waiting for something like this to like run and do its thing. So we'll sit here and we'll wait for this. Again, if you have any questions on using the app, certainly you can post them here in the chat. If you have any questions just about Walmart or anything happening on Walmart, type those in as well. We're almost done with the demo of the app, so I'll answer any questions just about Walmart in general after that is done. We are having a bonus live session tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central, where I will be doing some live sourcing. So check back on the Marter channel or on my YouTube channels for that. And then on Thursday at 2 p.m., our regular time, we will be going back into Inventory Lab. Okay, so you can see we have results now. It says click here to review the results. So I press that, and it shows my first picture. And then it says check possible matches. I can type my cost in here. Let's just pretend, well, it says $5, so there you go. I'm going to put $5 in, check possible matches, and it's going to bring those up. This is Calm and Cool Anti-Itch Lotion. So we have one there that looks very much like the picture. And we have a second choice. So if we select the first choice, it's going to bring that one up for us to kind of analyze. Notice it, or put my cost in already for this. We'd have to like do our WFS cost here. Good estimated sales. This is probably $3.45 as well. So this one's not really profitable. So it's like, okay. So now we're going to hit the back button. Okay. We're going to close this one, and then we could go to the next one, and we do the same thing. So that aisle scan is just kind of a handy way for you to be able to do those like multiple things, multiple images when you can't really get to the UPC. All right, well, that's what I had for you guys today. I don't see any questions in the chat, but I appreciate you guys joining. This recording will be posted on the YouTube and in the Marter groups. So hopefully this was helpful, and we will be back again tomorrow, like I said, at 4 p.m. Central, and do about a half hour of live sourcing tomorrow. So I hope you can join me for that. Have a great day.